Hello and welcome to the Talk TV with Tiffany Podcast. I recently had the pleasure of chatting with the delightful Genevieve Allenbury, who played the Queen of Valencia on Galavant. And I have exciting news for you guys. On April 28th, she's reteaming with Karen David, who played her daughter Isabella, for the Shakespeare Jubilee during Brit Week in Los Angeles. The details are posted in the accompanying article. And so she dishes on the scene that they're doing from Othello and tells us what it's like. And she also shares some really fun stories about the little reunions she's had with the Galavant family since the show's been off the air. They recently even got some of them together for a little party. So all of them still have faith that we'll see more Galavant in the future. So keep on fighting the good fight, you guys. I think something exciting will be on the horizon. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but it's definitely still in people's hearts and minds, and nobody's forgotten about Galavant. So, I think you guys are going to be really excited after you listen to our chat. So I hope you enjoy.
I'm incredibly excited and honoured to have been invited to be part of this. It's a terrific lineup of people. I think you were sent the flyer.
Yes.
With the list of names. And as I say, I'm absolutely thrilled that this has come about, and also thrilled that Karen and I are, back to working together again in a relationship that has a very similar dynamic to the relationship that we had with each other on Galavant. So we're performing the widow scene from Shakespeare's Othello. Desdemona is Karen, and Amelia, Iago's wife, is the character I'm playing. And as I say, it's a maternal type of relationship. We were trying to figure out the backstory of it and decided that Karen's mum, or Desdemona's mum, probably died when she was pretty young, maybe even in childbirth.
Okay.
You get the sense that her father is the only parent in her life. And Amelia has been sort of like a surrogate mother, auntie, big sister to Karen, to Desdemona. I got to say the character name.
That's fine.
So there is a familiarity. There is it's there in the writing as well, and of course it's genius writing. The sentiments expressed are extraordinary, particularly in the current climate of the Me Too campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Because Amelia is basically saying, and if one remembers when this was written and how modern the sentiments are, and she's basically saying, having just seen Desdemona slapped across the face in public, by Othello, she's trying to give this young, innocent, good-hearted, deeply in love young woman advice to not be so naive. And it's astonishing what she says. She's basically saying, men can't judge us by a different standard. We are equal. We have the same senses as they. We also can see and smell and taste just like they can. And they ought to treat us well, because ultimately anything that we learn from them in terms of behavior. And so if a woman basically cuckolds her husband, she's saying, it's because somewhere along the line he deserves it.
Right.
I think that's sort of loading it, but if you put it into the context of the time, as I say, it's loading it the other way, but if you put it into the context of the time, it's astonishingly modern. And I'm excited to be doing it in Los Angeles, where this movement started, on a wonderful stage. The Wallis Allenberg is a fabulous stage. And I think it's going to be wonderfully attended. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds very exciting. And that takes place on April 28th.
It's done as it's called a Shakespeare Jubilee because it's showing a passage through Shakespeare's life. It's when Stratford actually suddenly realized that they had a golden boy. Stratford didn't celebrate Shakespeare in his own lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
It came much later, about 250 years later. He was, of course, celebrated in London because the Globe Theatre was his centre of excellence, etc. But not in Stratford. His hometown didn't really recognise him until much later on. And so it's really that story and showing how his text was altered by many, many people, great actors of the time. Henry Irving altered text to fit the mores of the society in which he lived, because some of what Shakespeare wrote was contentious for Victorian England or Georgian England or, each of the periods that came thereafter. And so people just altered it. I mean, there are astonishing alterations to Romeo and Juliet, for example.
Oh.
Where, because if you look at the text, basically, Romeo and Juliet, as we all know now, because we are familiar with that, and that's the text that we live by, which is the original text, they slept together before they were married.
Mm-hmm.
So this was absolutely forbidden on a Victorian stage. And so they just rewrote it. They just rewrote Shakespeare. that never happened.
Wow.
That's what's interesting about this evening, is that it's actually revealing stuff that most people don't know, because we live in the modern world with the as close to the original first folio editions as we can. Because we honour that, and we have less and less. We still have them, and certainly in certain countries in the world, we still have these limitations where you cannot show, what would have been a homosexual relationship, or, as I say, a couple sleeping together out of wedlock. We still can't show that. So it's fascinating how people just modified a great artist who's recognised as, a genius, and they just modified it to suit whatever the state accepted at the time. And that's part of this journey. So we show, a version of Romeo and Juliet, for example, with, a few of the lines, and then show how they were adapted.
Oh, wow.
Acceptable.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
It's an interesting evening, and it's an open stage. It's where we just wear, something elegant for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
There's no costume. There are minimal props. As many as are needed to make it a little bit realistic. The scene that Karen and I are doing is quite a proppy, busy scene,
Mm-hmm.
because she keeps saying, will you unpin me here? Can you take this there? So in the midst of the scene, there are these little lines where she's obviously giving instructions as she's getting herself ready for bed. And so we are minimizing that. We're using a shawl, we're using a pair of earrings. Karen will have her hair twisted into a chignon, and I will just take a little clip out of it and her hair will fall. We're doing it in a small sense, whereas, of course, in a full production, it would be, a full disrobing of her day wear, putting on her night wear, etc.
And of course, there were so many layers back then.
Absolutely. So that's it's giving a hint at. It's a paean to the language more than anything, and as a celebration, being part of Brit Week, which they didn't do it last year, they did it the year before. And that was my first time in Los Angeles for pilot season since Galavant. I had come the previous year for publicity, but in between the first year and coming back year before last, I got my O1 and, got management, and that journey began as a result of the glorious experience of Galavant that we're still all glowing in.
Yes.
It was wonderful. My husband, Michael Walker, who's a screenwriter, he and I threw a gathering on Sunday here in our West Hollywood rental townhouse.
How fun.
And managed to get as many of the Galavanters as we could. We got Tim Omenson and his wife Alison.
Aww.
And Karen, of course, was there with her husband Carl Ryden. And Mallory Johnson was there too. Luke was sadly, that's Luke Youngblood, sadly not able to come because he was on a flight back from Toronto.
Okay.
So we got, and others associated behind the scenes were there too. Declan Lowney, who was one of the directors on it, was there. Chris Koch sadly couldn't come in the 11th hour because he's a furiously busy director and producer, and not without surprise. So it was just lovely to have us all in the room together. And the dynamic is still there. These relationships carry on.
Yeah.
It's funny. Mallory, who I adore, and I have this jokey snarkiness between us.
How cute.
Over the Jewel of Valencia. We are still, battling. Where is my jewel?
Yeah, that is so cute. Were Cat Like Hell and John Hoberg able to make it?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Cat Like Hell and John Hoberg. Were they there as well?
Sadly, they weren't able to because they were out of town. They were absolutely mortified again not to be able to. We saw them the previous week. So as you can see, we all stay very much connected. We went and had some dinner with them, and it was just a delightful evening, again, of joy and laughter and reminiscing. And, following any one of these reconnections, all of us seem to reach out to the others who weren't there to try and pull them in and embrace them in. So Robert Lindsay was pulled in, Wormwood.
Yes.
And Muz Khan was pulled into into the exchange that happened after the event. Darren, it's just Darren Evans. It's just lovely that we all stay so close, and that's rare.
It is.
It's a very rare thing that a cast stays this connected, this interactive, this positive about a piece of work that we all know was unique, exceptional, fabulous entertainment, fabulous quality, amazing production values. And we remain absolutely positive to a man. I don't think one of us believes that the door has closed on Galavant at all. We all still sense possibility out there. And driven by the most astonishing fan base that any show could ever want. We never stop talking about it. It astounds us how proactive and how diligent and how charming and go-getting. They're absolutely resilient. They just won't take no for an answer.
Absolutely.
The fan base.
I also feel like
we love them.
I feel like the fan base has been growing as well ever since Galavant's been on Netflix. I do think more people have been catching on to the show. I don't know if behind the scenes.
They really, really have. And we see that on a daily basis. People who are saying, why on earth have I not seen this? They remain astonished that it slipped them by somehow. From our point of view, it's just delicious and delightful that they eventually reach it. If you think about
Shawshank, okay.
Redemption, if you think about the journey of Shawshank Redemption, which literally came and went without anybody virtually noticing it, And it is now, at the top 3 of almost everybody's top 10 movies that they would take to a desert island.
Right.
And that was word of mouth.
Right.
That was because its values, the writing, the performances were just exceptional. And why it didn't get picked up in the instance of its release and its distribution is a mystery. And, we can talk about all sorts of reasons why Galavant didn't go to a third. I absolutely know it had nothing to do with the quality
Of
and
course.
the content
Of
and the
course.
brilliance. It was any number of political, financial, you name it, all the big machination that sort of wafts about over our heads that is beyond our control. And for whatever reason, it didn't. But I still feel it's loved. I still feel it's dearly loved at ABC.
Yes.
And I think something will ultimately happen. I really do and hope. And I know that's a common feeling. I have nothing to base this on.
Mm-hmm.
It is just an instinctive, positive faith and belief.
Yes.
And I'm affirming that because if our fans are big enough and huge-hearted enough to have that faith and belief, then we absolutely owe it to them to have it too. And we do.
Yeah. Well, and it's also great to hear that you all are still, keeping in touch, and the love and the desire is still there for, if any place gives it a go, which it seems like between ABC and Netflix, maybe Netflix could greenlight a film version so that season 3 would play out as a film on Netflix.
There has certainly been, conversations around that area. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Dan is passionate. Dan Fogelman, our showrunner and creator, is passionate about it. It's one of his, closest to his heart of works that he's done. Of course, he's furiously busy with the
This Is Us.
This Is Us.
Yes.
But he holds Galavant extremely dear, and so does Alan Menken and
Yes.
Jen Slater. So we've got 3 kings of creativity there, and
right.
I just think that sometime, somewhere, we are going to resurface in glory.
Yes. Well, Alan Menken also tweeted at the time of the cancellation that he'd love to work on a stage production of it as well. So, in some shape or form.
We never know what's going on behind the scenes in that regard.
Right.
But I trust the commitment to it. I really do. And somewhere along the line, it's just so special. And as I say, the testament is in this extraordinary situation of a cast. It's very easy to remain in touch with one particular person that you got on with extremely well on a show, any show, be it stage, be it TV, be it a film. It's kind of it. But the whole group stays so interactive is quite amazing.
Yeah.
I've never experienced it. And I've been at it a long time. So it's thrilling. It's thrilling and delightful. And I'm humbled and proud to be part of it. Really am.
Yeah. I know the fans are just going to love hearing all of this, and it's going to restore hope. I won't be surprised if after this interview the push, comes again, because you see it coming in little waves where, the fans will start encouraging Netflix and ABC to revive the show, and I'm sure they'll definitely get back to work again after this.
Well, I hope so. And all I would say is don't give up. We haven't. We are right there with you. We seem to be not quite as active in the Twitter area. It's because we're busy working and trying to garner, profiles that will lead us into a position of demanding. Who knows?
Yes.
Who knows? The further up we each go, the more excited Netflix might be to
Yes.
then say, you know what, those actors are so busy, they're doing this, they're doing that, their profiles have grown. We owe it to do more with them. I mean, that would be great because they've got so many more followers now.
Yes.
All you fabulously much loved Galavant fans, as I always call you, don't give up on us. We're not giving up on you or the show. And somewhere down the line, we're going to make this happen together.
Yes.
Yeah,
hopefully sooner rather than later. Your tweets are always very fun on Twitter.
Well, I love language. And, if somebody stimulates me with something, it always makes me, if it stimulates something in response, then I love to do that. That I enjoy. I find that creative. I find it fun. It tickles me. And to see some of the responses and some of the answers and what have you, it just amazes me. The other day, I was overwhelmed by the fact that somebody had a Galavant-themed wedding.
Yes, I saw that online.
You saw that.
Yes.
I just found that wonderful. I'm so excited by that. That's just such a fantastic gift to us that somebody would choose one of the most important days of their lives to honor Galavant by throwing a Galavant-themed wedding. It's terrific.
Yeah. But if anyone's listening out here and you don't follow Genevieve yet, go follow her.
Yay!
So.
Yes, somebody, I can't remember, I was having this conversation and they were saying to me, somebody came in and said, why haven't you got a blue tick? The blue tick mark.
Where you're verified.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking. I know people have it, and I said, but doesn't that just mean that that's really who they are?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know how to put a blue check mark on my Twitter. And they said, no, it's not up to you, it's up to Twitter. I said, oh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You see, that's how far my naivety goes.
I know. Yeah, I think you have to ask them, but I don't even know how you ask them.
Yes.
A lot of times you have fans tweet too. You can we can tweet at Twitter and ask them to verify you. I've seen that happen too, so we'll do that too. We'll follow you and ask them to verify you.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
The Queen of Valencia does need a blue check mark.
Yes.
I need verification. If I'm not verified, it means I don't exist. And we all know I exist.
Absolutely.
Surely, I'm speaking to you directly now. This is an order, and I've just picked up my ladle.
Well, we have a lot to get to work on as Galavant fans. We will have you properly supported, and we will continue campaigning for more Galavant, and we'll spread the word about Brit Week too, and the Shakespeare Jubilee. That's going to be such a treat for fans to see you and Karen together again.
Like Christmas and all my birthdays have come as one. It feels like something I need to achieve.
Yes. We'll help you out. We'll rally all the troops. We've got your back.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. and I was just thinking, actually, apropos the fans, it's the fans that brought back Will and Grace.
Yes.
There's a case in point. A show that was off the air for ages and ages.
Yeah.
And back with an absolute vengeance now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to happen.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
It is.
The art of positive thinking. You can create what you believe in. And I believe this. And I ask all of the fans out there, believe with me. Because you're not alone. It's not just me. I can tell you, it's the whole Galavant crew. Everybody. I mean, I still have exchanges on Facebook with the drivers.
Oh.
The guys who drove us to and from set every day. That's the kind of show this was. I've never had that before.
Yeah. No,
so it's not just us, the cast. It permeates right through to the writers, to the creatives, to the crew, to everybody. everybody. I live in England close to the lady who was our designer on season 2. And I bump into her, whilst shopping for groceries every so often. And every single time we hug each other and we go, oh, I wish we could go back to doing Galavant. We always say it.
Yeah.
So it is a universal sense of goodwill, good intent, love, positivity, and let's make this happen, guys.
Definitely.
Just believe. Yeah.
We will believe and we will keep working on it.
We're very blessed. We really are. We're very blessed to have so much positivity around us.
Yes.
We really are.
Yes. Well, it comes from everyone who works on the show too. Everybody behind Galavant created something that just touched people's hearts. So stuff like that, we cherish and it's worth fighting for. So.
Thank you. It's deeply thank you. And anybody who's around in LA on the 28th of April at the Wallace Annenberg, Karen and I will be there in slightly different guises, but with the same hearts and the same willingness to exchange, interact, perform, and do honor to the piece and to our audience ultimately. So come along. I'm not sure how the ticket sales are doing, but because it's a one-time event, I think it's going to be pretty much a sellout.
Probably.
So get in there.
Yes.
Get in there.
And all the information is in the accompanying article. So there'll be links for everything. Fabulous. So it'll be easy to find.
Fabulous.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.